So I just gave my 2 weeks notice one day without having a backup plan. So I went and applied for this job on Indeed.com. There was like one random article, it was like Scrappy Bar Pub. Now, I remember seeing Scrappy though, and I was so that's a cool term.
That Scrappy Bar Pub is Little Brother Brewing on Elm and McGee Street downtown. And if you call them Scrappy, it's because of their mindset of doing more with less. Today, we learn the story of Little Brother. This is Greensboro Vibes. When you go to Little Brother, you'll get real old Greensboro vibes. That's because this central location in Hamburger Square has been home to some iconic Greensboro businesses. We talked to the co-founder, Daniel, about how they were intentional about keeping these traditions alive.
Back in kind of the 50s, 60s, kind of Greensboro's downtown manufacturing heyday, it was a small diner. And so a lot of people know it as Jim's Lunch, and that's why it has kind of that diner look on the floor. And you can still see where the old stools from the diner were into that. You can see where the tiles kind of messed up. Before us, it was a comedy club. In the 80s, it was a comic book store, Acme Comics, which is now in Lawndale. So a lot of people have, you know, kind of an attachment to the space just from those different businesses. It was a haberdashery.
Their commitment to the space goes in line with the Little Brother mindset of making do with what you have. We talked about this with Karmen.
We brew back there. I think it's in like a 310 square foot space. If you ever go to a bigger brewery, I guess in general, they have forklifts, they have ladders, they have grain chutes for them to be able to mill it, and it just goes up a pipe and goes into the mash tun and it all just mixes. Here, it's very hands-on. The smells are just abundant. It smells like bread, it's really great. And it's, you know, it gets a little steamy in here, but it helps with the windows too. So here, that's kind of the experience. Our brewer has to manually mill everything, like lug up the bags for it, mill it all, move it inside, and then manually lift up the buckets to mash it all for 3 hours. It gives you a whole appreciation for it, even though a lot of people get to just push a button these days to do their brewing. Here, it's once again, it's a Little Brother. You got to make do with what you got. Maybe you got to work a little bit harder, but I think that the reward is really worth it.
Maybe my favorite thing about Little Brother is how the inside is opened up to the street. This gives Hamburger Square a sense of connectedness.
When we came into the space, we're like, all right, we got to open it up to the streets. We were trying to figure out how to make kind of the sidewalk an extension of the premises. That was part of the excitement about this space, is just because this corner, it should be busy. I mean, it's in the heart of downtown Greensboro. There's a lot of great businesses surround us. And you can see in, you don't, a lot of people don't think it's as small as it is. There's only 1,700 square feet here to make the beer and sell the beer. It's not a lot of room, but when, the space is limiting for us, but it's part of the charm. And that.
You can find Little Brother on the corner of Hamburger Square, aka Elm and McGee Street. Special thanks to this episode's sponsor, Downtown Greensboro Incorporated. Thanks also to our community on Patreon, where you can find extended interviews, vlogs, art, and other good vibes. And if you want to have your story told, you can contact us at lemontime.co/GSOVibes.